On one hand, he's supporting his wife publicly, or at least not opposing her. But on the other hand, he's trying to ensure he doesn't get pulled down too far if the allegations blow up. But Friedman's statement lumps him together with Lively, condemning them both. Friedman's words, "Stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent," seem pointedly aimed at calling out the perceived hypocrisy if Lively and Reynolds are bending those rules to punish Baldoni. Don't forget Leslie Sloan's role in all of this. Publicists are the gatekeepers of a star's image, orchestrating what stories appear in the media and how the star is portrayed. If Friedman can show that Sloan pushed out false narratives about Baldoni, then Sloan's professional reputation is on the line. Not many Hollywood luminaries want to be represented by someone who can't handle crisis management ethically or is rumored to spin fabrications to sabotage an adversary. That's a cardinal sin in the PR world, and Friedman knows it. It's a potent angle to leverage in the court of public opinion and actual legal proceedings. So here we are, sitting on the edge of a complex, messy showdown. The stakes? The reputations and possibly the careers of everyone involved, from the once adored Lively to the rising star turned director Baldoni. With Friedman intensifying the heat, we can assume the next steps won't be quiet depositions behind closed doors. Instead, we're likely to see more pointed statements, more vicious social media chatter, and more attempts by Lively's side to wrest control of the narrative. But Friedman's repeated references to moving full steam ahead into discovery suggest that the battle will be resolved not in the tabloids or Instagram comments, but in a court of law. Meanwhile, fans who can't stand Blake Lively's persona, or who find her brand phony, contradictory, or rife with hypocrisy, are reveling in Friedman's diatribe. Many see it as a righteous takedown of a star who's tried to cloak herself in a squeaky clean facade. They're even claiming that Lively's motion to dismiss reveals a cowardly attempt to escape accountability for what Friedman asserts are false claims. Social media postings from that contingent regularly echo Friedman's own language. This saga centers around the film adaptation of It Ends With Us. Justin Baldoni was not only starring in it, but also directing, a dual role that seldom goes without some measure of controversy. Yet, no one could have predicted it would turn into this kind of full-blown spectacle. For context, the trouble started when Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, claiming that he'd SH'd her on set, and then launched a subsequent smear campaign against her after she dared to speak out, accusing them collectively of being the real instigators. Specifically, Baldoni alleged that the trio conspired in a twisted campaign of slander, all for the sake of effectively canceling him in Hollywood circles. The fans, who were already in a froth over Lively's past controversies, seized the moment to dogpile her, and apparently, it only made the public perception more complicated. Meanwhile, Lively's defenders pointed fingers at Baldoni, claiming he was trying to muzzle a victim. Now, the situation has escalated with each side filing motions and counter motions. And the latest development? Blake Lively is making a bold attempt to dismiss herself from the legal entanglements entirely. According to her, Baldoni's countersuit is nothing but an act of revenge.
Yes, guys, we're going to be digging through the weeds of this for, I think, much longer than when the trial is. I don't even know if the trial is going to meet that date of next year in March, because there's just so many layers to this.
An underhanded strategy to smear her name in public. But that attempt at walking away is exactly what's triggered the wrath of Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Ryen Friedman, who's clearly had enough. Friedman has lashed out with a scorching statement directed right at Blake Lively. He's gone so far as to call her move one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system, calling her privileged, entitled, and manipulative. You can find venom-filled threads dedicated to dissecting every one of Lively's public moves under a microscope, concluding that this fiasco confirms all their worst suspicions about her. Some cynics, on the other hand, wonder if this entire drama is orchestrated, maybe not intentionally from day one, but as soon as it began, the parties realized they could harness the controversy for publicity. Hollywood has a long history of leveraging scandal to generate buzz around a project. It Ends With Us is the center of all this strife. And ironically, it's garnering more headlines than the typical film promotion could dream of. That said, if the allegations are as serious as Friedman claims are falsely pinned on Baldoni, or as genuine as Lively claims they are, it's hard to imagine anyone risking a career for mere publicity. This scenario could, after all, result in multi-million-dollar lawsuits, destroyed reputations, or worse. In the face of all these swirling accusations, Friedman's concluding words are the real showstopper. fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof.
There's just so many things that they're trying to do to delay this case, filing these frivolous motions to dismiss. We've broken down why those won't go anywhere, and they're just trying to mire Justin Baldoni in motion after motion after motion, trying to push things out.
Think about the intensity of that language. Friedman didn't choose mild words. He's using language that evokes outrage. He's suggesting Lively, by filing to remove herself from the countersuit, is manipulating the law to further her own agenda. The comment is loaded with implications. Friedman is basically painting Blake Lively as someone using her fame, influence, and resources to twist the justice system to her favor. And he's in the final straw. Allegedly, she pushed her legal team to hide the ugliest details of her Marvel scandal. When her once loyal attorney refused to cross certain lines, he quit on the spot, an act sending shockwaves through Tinseltown. How poisonous must this scheme be if a lawyer, sworn to protect her interests, can't stomach the truth? Stay with us as we dig into the shady underpinnings of Blake Lively's empire. Discover how this starlet's dark ambitions left her isolated and vulnerable, and ask yourself, if she's so brazen when the cameras aren't rolling, how far will she go to keep this scandal buried? The answers may be more shocking than you ever dared to believe. Justin Baldoni's team decided to fight back against the New York Times. They said the New York Times acted like everything Blake Lively claimed was true, even though the information was not correct. Baldoni's side wants all the proof out in the open because they think it will show the truth. They are not scared of the facts. That's a mic drop of sorts. He is basically telling Lively and her supporters that this is a done deal, that the illusions they've created are about to shatter under the weight of genuine evidence. So, if Lively doesn't have solid evidence to back her SH claims, Friedman's upcoming discovery process could deal a massive blow to her credibility. As for Baldoni, a favorable outcome could turn him into a newly vindicated figure in Hollywood, changing the power dynamic and turning him into something of a champion for those who feel they've been unfairly maligned by A-listers. You never know how these sagas will end, but Friedman's confidence is sky high. So, in summary, we have a sensational trifecta of alleged SH claims, countersuits, defamation accusations, and intense personal vendettas. Friedman is eviscerating Lively's attempt to slither out of the lawsuit, claiming she orchestrated the entire fiasco from the start and is now bailing to avoid accountability. Lively is hitting back, alleging Baldoni's countersuit is pure revenge. Ryen Renolds is trying to shield himself by saying he can't be defamed if the statements about him are believed to be true. Meanwhile, fans who already detest Lively are absolutely reveling in her predicament, drumming up a chorus of condemnation. Everyone's watching Friedman as he revs up for discovery, promising to topple any house of cards he believes Lively has constructed. Where do we go from here? The next chapter unfolds with depositions, evidence submission, and possibly public testimony if the case goes to trial. That means we'll either see a quiet settlement where each side retreats with a slightly tarnished but salvageable reputation, or more likely, an explosive trial that will only intensify public scrutiny. Right now, Friedman's stance is unwavering, refusing to entertain any notion of letting Lively or Reynolds off the hook. He's openly scorning their attempts to extract themselves from the crossfire, brandishing the law like a sword aimed squarely at two of Hollywood's biggest names. It's not hyperbole to say that many are rubbing their hands together, waiting to see how thoroughly Friedman can follow through on his promises. If Friedman's actual evidentiary proof is as rock solid as he hints,